Good morning, children. Now we are going to start Movement Chapter 1, The Lost Child. The Lost Child is the story of a small child who gets lost in a fair. Fair means Mela. He had gone with his parents to the fair but loses them when he gets engrossed in looking at a roundabout swing. The story highlights the bond of love and affection that the child shares with his parents. Before losing them, he had been demanding different things like sweets, balloons, flowers, swings, etc. Once he loses them, he is picked up by a stranger. The stranger tries to quieten the child by offering him all these things that he had demanded from his parents. But the child does not want them anymore. He wants his parents first. So, let's move to the content. A child goes to a fair with his parents. He is happy and excited and wants the sweets and toys displayed there. But his parents don't buy them for him. Why then does he refuse when someone else offers them to him? So, as the author given the little description about the chapter that the child is goes to the fair, and when he entered into the fair he demanded all those things which he saw, but his parent refused him to provide. But when he loses his parent, when he lost his parent, and a stranger offered him all those things which he demanded earlier, but that time he only needs his parent. It was the festival of spring. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity. Some walked, some rode on horse, others sat, being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. Now, full of shades means wintry shades of narrow lanes means full of shades. As it was a winter season, so the narrow lanes were full of shades. Emerged means came out, baharana. Brimming over, to be full of something. Now, the story is set in the spring season as the winter season had just ended. All the people came out of their houses. They were cheerful as the chilling cold weather had ended. People conveyed through different modes foot, horses, bamboo carts, and bullock carts. A little child was accompanied by his parents. He ran excitedly and often banged into his father's leg. He was full of life, excitement, and laughter. Means he was full of enjoyment, excitement, laughter. Come, child, come, called his parent as he lagged behind. Lagged behind means left behind. Fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. Fascinated by means attracted by, attracted towards. And lined the way means was set up along the way. The child was attracted to the toys which were displayed at the various stalls. As he would be left behind, his parents would call him to come with them. He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call, his eyes still lingering. Lingering means lasting for a long time on the receding toys. As he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, he could not suppress. Suppress means put an end to the desire of his heart, even though he well knew the old, cold stare of refusal in their eyes. Cold stare of refusal means without any feelings and emotions. So, the child was obedient and would walk towards them on being called, but his eyes would keep on looking at the toys that he wanted. As he reached them, he couldn't control his desire to buy a toy. He was familiar to the reaction that they would give. Who are they? They are his parents. He knew that they would stare him, indicating denial to buy him the toy, denial to buy him the toy. He knew very well if he asked to my parent to buy or to purchase those things, I always get a denial from him, from their side. The child knew the emotionless way in which they would stare at him. Who are the emotionless for the child? His parents. I want that toy, he pleaded, but still he don't stopped himself by saying, and at last he said to his parents, I want that toy, he pleaded. The child was unable to control his desire any longer. He said that he wanted to buy the toy. His father looked at him red eyed in his familiar tyrant's way. Tyrant means a cruel and oppressive ruler. The father's eyes grew red with anger, and he looked at the child just like a cruel ruler who was trying to oppress him, who was trying to oppress his desire. His mother, melted by the free spirit of day, was tender, and giving him her finger to hold, said, Look, child, what is before you? Melted means become tender and loving. As his father become strict, so his mother become melted, become tender and loving towards his child. The mother became emotional due to the cheerful mood. Lovingly, she gave her finger to the child to hold and guided him to a place. She asked him to see what was in front of him. He just want to distract his mood from those toys and those things which attracted him. It was a flowering mustard field, and now the mother asked to look in front. And what was in front? In front was a flowering mustard field, pale like melting gold, as it swept across miles and miles of even land, and a group of dragonflies were bustling about on their gaudy purple. Gaudy means extremely bright and showy wings, intercepting the flight of a lone black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. The child followed them in the air with his gaze till one of them would still its wings and rest, and he would try to catch it, but it would go fluttering, flapping up into the air. When he had almost caught in his hand, then his mother gave a cautionary call. Come, child, come on to the footpath. Now in the para, there was a vast field full of bright yellow colored mustard flowers. They seemed like flowing stream of gold, and those mustard flower, those mustard field seemed like a flowing streams of a gold and were wide spread. A group of dragonflies, black bees, butterflies buzzed around, sucking the nectar from the flowers. The child looked at them as they flew around. When one of the sat somewhere, he tried to catch them. He tried to catch the butterfly, but the tiny creature would fly away the next instant. But that creature fly away. The mother called out to him as they started walking down the footpath. He ran towards his parents gaily and walked abreast of them for a while, being, however, soon left behind, attracted by the little insect and worm along the footpath that were teeming out for their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. Teeming out means to pour or empty out. So, in this para, the author said, the child ran towards his parent on the call of his mother. He walked next to them, but after a few steps, he stopped to see the insect who were coming out of the soil. Once again, the child was left behind. Come, child, come, his parents called from the shade of a grove where they had seated. Grove means a small wood or group of trees. Themselves on the edge of a well, he ran towards them. So again his parents called him when he was engaged to see the butterflies or to see the insect which was coming from the soil. The parents called him. They sat next to the well under the shady trees. The child once again ran and joined his parents. A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove, and forgetting his parents, he began to gather the raining petals in his hand. But lo, he heard the cooing of doves and ran towards his parents, shouting, "The dove, the dove!" The raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands. Now, as the child entered the shady four-seated area where his father, his parents, his mother sits before, he was welcomed by a shower of flowers. He forgot his parents and started collecting the petals that had fallen. Just then he heard the cooing of doves and was excited to see them. He started chasing the birds, and in the process of chasing the birds, the petals fell from his hand. This shows that as the child got attracted towards the next thing, he forgot what he had been doing earlier. Come, child, come, they called to the child, who had now gone running in wild capers round the banyan tree, and gathering him up, they looked the narrow, winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard fields. Capers means a playful skipping movements, घूमते टहलते उछलते हुए. The parents called the child who was running and playing around a banyan tree. Again and again, parents are calling him to come to him, to follow him, to walk together. And every time the child was attracted for something and he left behind. This time again, the parents called him. The parents called the child who was running and playing around a banyan tree. They lifted him and walked down a narrow, twisting lane through which they crossed the mustard field and reached the fair. And now, ultimately, they reached to the fair. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs converging to the whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. Throngs means huge crowd, and converging means gathering. So, here in this para, as he passed out from the mustard field and reached towards the fair and entered in the fair, then he saw, as they were about to reach the fair, the child saw a huge crowd of people walking from all directions towards the fair. The dense crowd scared him, and he stepped back for a while. But the next moment, he got attracted to the mind blogging crowd of humanity. A sweetmeat seller hawked gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed round his counter. At the foot of a architecture of many colored sweets decorated with leaves of silver and gold, the child stared open eyed, and his mouth watered for the burfi that was his favorite sweet. I want that burfi, he slowly murmured, but he half knew as he begged that his plea would not be heeded because his parents would say he was greedy. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. Heeded means he had paid no attention. So, in the para, as the child entered into the fair, he saw first stall of a sweet. At the entrance of the fair, at one corner, the sweetmeat seller had set up a shop. He was selling various sweets like gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi. The sweets were displayed at different heights and were covered with foils of gold and silver. The boy's mouth watered when he sighted his favorite burfi. Actually, burfi was his favorite sweet. He expressed his desire to get one in a low voice because he knew that his request would be refuted by his parents. They would say that he was greedy for the burfi, as he did not expect that his demand would be fulfilled. He walked further. He knew that every time he get the refusal from his parent, so without any saying, he walked further. He moved away from there. Now he reached to the next stall, and next stall is about a flower seller hogged a garland of gulmohar. A garland of gulmohar. The child seemed irresistibly drawn. He went toward the basket where the flowers lay heaped and half murmured, I want that garland. But he well knew his parents would refuse to buy him those flowers because they would say that they were cheap. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. So, in the next para, he went to the next stall, that is of the flower stall, and by seeing the flower stall, he also fascinated with the Gulmohar garlands. Now, in the next stall, that was the flower stall, he announced that he was selling garlands of Gulmohar flowers. The child wanted one of those. He walked towards the basket of flowers and again announced his desire to have one in a low voice because he knew that his demand would not be fulfilled. They would refuse to buy him the flowers as they would say that they were cheap again. The boy walked ahead without expecting a reply from his parents. Now, next, a man stood holding a pole with yellow, red, green, purple balloons flying from it. The child was simply carried away by by the rainbow glory of their silken colors, and he was filled with an overwhelming desire to possess them all. But he well knew his parents would never buy him the balloons because they would say he was too old to play with such toys. So he walked on further. Now, in this para, the child came across was a balloon seller selling balloons of different colors of the rainbow. The boy was attracted to the shiny colors of the balloons and wanted to have them all. He knew that his parents would not buy the balloons for him, as they would reason that the child was too old to play with them. So the child walked ahead. Now, next, a snake charmer stood playing a flute to a snake which coiled itself in a basket, its head raised in a graceful bend like the neck of a swan, while the music stole into its invisible ears like the gentle rippling of an invisible waterfall. The child went towards the snake charmer, but knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such coarse music means unpleasant music. As the snake charmer played, he proceeded further. So, as he moved ahead, he reached to a snake charmer shops who was playing a flute, and the snake was twisting its neck to the music. The snake had coiled itself in a basket and had raised its head out. It bent and moved its neck gracefully like a swan. It seemed that the music of the flute was heard by the snake's invisible ear and created the effect of a waterfall on it because it swayed its neck in a similar way. The boy walked towards the snake charmer, but as his parents had warned him to remain away from the unpleasant music played by such men, so he walked further. He moved to the next, and when he moved to the next, so in the next para, there was a roundabout in full swing. Men, women, and children, carried away in a whirling motion, shrieked and cried with dizzy laughter. The child watched them intently, and then he made a bold request. I want to go on the roundabout, please, father, mother. Here in this para, at last he requested to his father and mother. And just as he went further, as he go ahead, then he reached towards the roundabout swing. And when he reached to the roundabout swing, that swing was full of men, women, children who are enjoying the ride. The boy watched the people on the roundabout, and then with a lot of courage he expressed his desire to go on the roundabout. So, thank you, class.